All right, hello everybody, shalom, and I hope my voice coming good. If you hear me, please let me know from your side. If you don't hear me, that means you hear me. Like a long time ago, we used to go on chat program, and the Muslim they say, like one of the Muslims, he said to me, he's a sheikh. He said, "Trust me, I don't have a speaker, I don't have a microphone." I said, okay, if you don't hear me, give me one. If you don't have a speaker, give me one in the text. So he gave me one. He don't have a speaker and he don't have a microphone. So if you don't hear me, give me one. So he gave me one. Obviously, it's true. He don't have a speaker. Anyway, Abduls are Abduls. What you can say. Uh, let us start with the topic. This is Abdul. He made a comment in my previous video. And by the way, they copy, like Abdul, what they do, if they see someone who is a Christian, he have a name, they try to copy his name to make him look bad. So forget about the name. The name here, it says see, do, so is you do, 006626, 22 hours ago. Christian definitely come from Satan. And you know, the funny is, this guy, he say Christianity come from Satan, and the stupid Quran says Christians or Christianity is coming from Allah. If we type the word, because in the Quran it's used the word Nasara. And not only this, actually, the word Nasara supposedly mean the helpers of Allah. You see, the stupid Quran keeps saying that the Christians and the Jews, they are going to go to heaven. But the Abdul keeps saying that the Christianity, it must be coming from Satan. So if we go and read in the Quran, we will find many verses which is obviously, you know, proving the Muslim to be stupid and awkward, and they even insult their God. For the sake of their hatred, they don't know how to answer us. Then when Jesus come to know of their disbelief, he said, who will become my helpers to Allah? Cause. Al-Hawariyin, as Muhammad called them, we do not know even how we get that name. The disciples, they said, we are the helpers of Allah. And the helpers of Allah supposedly is what the word Christians in Arabic is. And the stupid Abdul, he keeps saying to us that the Christians is obviously from Shaitan. I know what to say, you know. I know what to say. Somebody in Discord saying, can you fact check Israel really attack a Christian in North Village? Yeah, they attack a Christian village, this is true, but the house there is the leader of Hezbollah. So this is a village in an area called Zgharta, which is all Christians, but one of the Christian there, he is a greedy and an evil person. He rented his house to a leader of Hezbollah. So the Israeli, they gave him a screw in his butt. They destroy the house. The Christian guy is not there because he rented the house to Hezbollah. And, you know, they killed the leader of Hezbollah. So he lost his house because he's greedy. Okay, I support that. So this is not a Christian town attack. This is an attack against a leader of Hezbollah. Israel don't attack Christians unless the Christians attack them. If they attack them, then they will respond, you know. And why Christians will attack them? You know, they are cleaning the country from the dogs of Hezbollah. All right. So I hope I answer you. Now going back to our topic. Is the text coming clear to you, guys, to you in YouTube? Is the image coming clear? You can read the text clearly. Let me know if you cannot see it clearly. All right. So here you see the Mohammedan, when they say the Christianity is not from God, and then the stupid Quran says that we are the helpers of Allah. And here, by the way, there is a question will show you that Islam can collapse by one sentence. What kind of God he need? helpers. You know what I mean? We are the helpers of Allah. So if Allah is God and He is Almighty, as the Muslim claim, but remember, Allah cannot have a son because He don't have a girlfriend. Allah cannot have a miracle because people will not believe in it anyway. Allah could not save Muhammad, who keep fainting every 2 seconds. Allah, He made a dish for Muhammad to fix his penis because his penis was not functioning. This is the God, you know. The God, they call Him Almighty. But the stupid Quran says that we are, and the only one are the helpers of Allah, not the Muslims. You will not find anywhere in the Quran it says that the Muslims are helpers of Allah. Only the disciple of Jesus. Now, if we go to the comment of this Abdul, he said here that in the Bible, Jesus PPUH said, BBUH, what Jesus said, be aware of false prophet or apostle Paul. You know, here I want to ask the Abdul. I mean, not only you corrupt your book, the Quran, thousands of verses are missing, but you are adding your own words in our Bible too. It says there in the Bible, like, be aware of false prophet or apostle Paul. Really? And here, by the way, Abdul, just to show you how donkey you are like your prophet, I can show you at least between, I mean, I don't want to count the numbers, but I can give you at least 100 reference from your stupid donkey Muhammad books saying that Paul is a great messenger of Allah. So look at the irony. The Abduls all over the internet since did that. Paul is the one who corrupt Christianity. Paul. But they're stupid scholars and they are donkey Quran. The Quran itself says that the Messiah sent 3 messengers. And we go and check who are they, we will find one of them is Paul. In fact, Paul is the might between them, which means Peter and Simon Peter and John were sent first to the city of Antioch, according to the Muslims. People did not believe because the miracle was not so great. So Allah sent Paul. What about you join me in Discord and I will force you to read it like a puppy? You coward. And here I need to ask you a question. How come you Muslim, you know who is the one who corrupt Christianity, but your stupid prophet do not know? Are you saying that your prophet is the last one to know? You know what? This is what happened with a guy when his wife cheating and sleeping around. He is the last one to know. This is what happened to him when Safwan was sleeping with Aisha. When the other guy, he came to the house of Muhammad and he found the guy in the room of Aisha. He said to her, who is this guy? Who is this guy? She said, oh, this is my brother from breastfeeding. What? Abdul, give me your address. Trust me, I will become your wife, brother from breastfeeding after 5 minutes. All right. People, they say, you cannot hear me in Discord? In Discord, they can't hear me. I don't know why. In Discord. Discord is weird. Okay. Do you hear me now in Discord, guys? Am I heard in Discord now? No? Okay. Give me a second. I don't know what to do with this Discord. Okay, is it working now? Do you hear me now? I know what I did. Now just I left the stage, I came back. Weirdo. You know, you guys, I think you have a genie, you know? One of you here is in Discord is a genie. I don't know if it's a genie male or a genie female, but the most dangerous one is a genie female. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let us change the topic. Change the topic. My body is shaking. All right. I don't want to talk about it. I'm scared. Female and genie, that is double danger. Oh boy. Anyway, so the Abdul, you know, the Muslims, they are the one who have knowledge. And then, you know, and by the way, anything we say, we can show you tons of reference. And then we Muslims laugh at you Christians, especially the Trinitarians, when you say that God once become a man. You know, first of all, my God, he can become a man. Can your God become a man? He cannot. Yet he call himself he, which means he's a fake he. When the God of Islam, he keeps saying he, how can I have a son yet I don't have a girlfriend? What Allah is saying to us? He don't have a penis, but he claimed to be a man. Let us see. You know, in this verse as an example, Allah, he said, let us share again in Discord because people cannot see. I hope we will not lose microphone when we share with you the screen. All right, you see my screen, Discord? All right. So if you go in the Quran, in chapter 6, verse 101, and by the way, just to let you something, sometimes I use my voice command to speak to the phone, you know, like, you know, searching for something like, okay, you know, and then each time I say numbers like 6, my Google types sex, like sexual thing, like sex. So if I ever send say like I said using voice, and from your side comes sex, it's I mean 6 number, okay, the number 6. Anyway, so he is the originator of the heaven and the earth. How can he see the word he? How can he have a children when he has no wife? So is your God Allah a man? If he is not a man, and he is saying that he cannot have a son unless he have a wife, that means Allah is a cuckoo, is a stupid. I mean, shouldn't you say, okay, I'm God, what's all talking about? I don't have children. Secondly, you donkey, do the Christian believe that their God, he have a wife and they have a son because he have a wife? I mean, who is the donkey here? Do the Christian believe that God the Father, he married from Mary and then they have a son? Do you see how stupid your God? So look now how many mistakes. Allah here, he made himself a man. He made himself a man. He called himself he. Let me put you more in pain. What is this? Oof. Look at this, what I found. This website can do things. What is that? Okay. No, I don't want that. How we can delete this thing? Impact element? No. Okay, forget. Anyway, we don't want that. Let us say we want something else. Okay. So he, do you see he? Oh, this is very thick. You see, this is what happened when, like, I have a software, I paid for it, but that software do draw in the screen, and this and the program I'm using for, you know, for broadcasting, it doesn't record really the screen itself. It like now I'm showing the browser, so I don't know why it's not activated here. I don't know why. Okay, well, look like we cannot even change. All right. So here you see that the God of Islam making it so clear that he is a person, he cannot have a son, and he called himself he. So if Allah is a fake he, and then he called himself he, that is a fake and false description. You see, if the Christian, they say that God, he is he, well, we know that God, as you said, the Messiah came to us in a shape on the flesh of a man. So he's a perfect man. So we can say he. Your God called himself he for what reason? If he is not a man and he call himself he, that means your God is a liar. He maybe it's a she. However, it cannot be a she. Why? Because look, he says, how can he have a son, or he would, if he don't have a wife? Why Allah he mentioned that he need to have a wife in order to have a son? Why don't say a spouse? Why he say, okay, how Allah can have a son without saying he or she? If Allah don't have a spouse, if I don't have a spouse, can't he say I? So in this verse you see that your God Allah confirm his gender as a male. But if we ask any Muslim, do Allah have a ding ding? I learned this word, by the way, from a Muslim. Once he called me and he said, hey Christian Prince, do your God have a ding ding? I said, yes, he have a ding ding. Do your God have a ding ding? He don't do. He don't, right? So here you see how stupid the God of Islam. He don't have a ding ding, yet he called himself he, and he claimed that in order to have a son, he need to have a wife. However, to make it more stupid, he claimed, or she claimed, that Allah is the originator of the heaven and the earth. Okay. If Allah is the originator of the earth and the heaven, can't he originate a son without a wife? Do you see the contradiction? If you are the one who can create, I mean, which one is harder, you know, to create this massive universe, the stars, the you know, I mean, everything you see around, you know the thing, Joe Biden, you know the thing. I want to describe for you. I mean, you know the thing. So the thing. So this one who created the thing cannot create one more thing, which is the sun. He cannot, right? So what he need to do, he need to have a wife, because he is not the creator. You see, I can have a son if I have a wife. Because I'm not the creator, I cannot do it by myself. So God, he gave me and the female together the ability to reproduce, but not to create. We are not creators. All right? To reproduce. So the ability of the man is what the ability of the God of Islam, as you see. The ability of God in the Bible is the ability of God, because God in the Bible do not need a wife in order to have a son. Plus, when Allah, he claimed to be the originator of the heaven and the earth, and you know, if you guys watched the previous video, you will see the Muslims once after one leaving Islam one after one and didn't know what to do. Especially when we show them that even Allah don't even remember which one he created first, the stars or the mountains, the trees or you know, the space. Which one? I mean, they don't know. This guy, how many days? One verse says 6, one verse says 8, or the hadith says 7. And this is what, you know, and how we prove that Islam is just stupid. So when the Muslim, he tried to make fun of Jesus the man, he forgot that Jesus the man in his Quran can make the blind see. Can your God, Allah, who is not a man, yet he called himself he, which means he have no balls, can he make anyone blind see? No. We can prove it in 2 seconds. If you remember, when a person, a blind man, he came to Muhammad, and he always come to the house of Muhammad, and Muhammad, he hate this blind man. Why? Because he's poor. He's poor. You know, it's like at that time, if you are blind, I mean, what is the source of income you have? Your family support you, or your, you know, your town, the villagers, you know, whoever give you some food. You are blind, you cannot make a living. There's a chapter in the Quran about the blind man. It's called Abasa. Abasa wa tawalla. What abasa mean? And what tawalla mean? Look how many times the Quran mentioned the word blind. But if we go to chapter 80, verse number 1 and 2, you will see that the prophet, when a blind man came to him, the prophet, he showed a lot of anger, a lot of looking down at the blind man, a lot of disrespect, a lot of insult. He was disgusted because this is a blind, poor man. If you read the interpretation, you will see that the blind man, he came, and Muhammad was speaking to the rich people of Quraysh. And even in the interpretation, it says, the prophet said to himself, look, those people, the rich people of Quraysh, his tribe, will say, look who is the one who follow him, a blind man. So Muhammad decided to kick him out of his house. Do you see how disgusting Muhammad is? Muhammad, when he did this, instead of fixing it, he make it more ugly. Why? Because those same people, they saw how he mistreat the blind man. So they said to themselves, what kind of a man of God he claimed to be, yet he treat a blind man in such a way. So Muhammad, now he want to fix it. So he claimed that Allah sent him a verses saying, why you do that, Muhammad? Why you do that? Huh? Why you gave him a face? Maybe a chance to become pure. The guy already become a Muslim. What pure? So the blind man, Muhammad, have no time to answer him because he is a poor. It's like today, you know, if you go see in the election in USA, if you are a person who donate a $500,000, Trump, he will send you a letter to invite you. Trust me. Kamala, she will call you. Hello? By the passage of time, you have to come to us in any time. We like to meet you now, tomorrow, any time. For this is the time which is your time. You paid for it. So if you are rich, everybody will come you every time. If you are poor, all doors are closed in your face. Even your families, they might not say hello to you. If you become rich suddenly, everybody become your cousin. And this is the scumbag Muhammad. But what about Jesus? Jesus, who is a healing machine. What does that mean? Whatever he touch is going to be healed. In fact, even if people touch his clothing, they are healed. There is a video of Mufti Menk. Anyone find it, please send it to me, because also I can play it from time to time. I saw it once, I cannot find it again. Mufti Menk, he said that when the Messiah, he speak, thousands of people are listening. The Messiah, he just wave his hand. He did, who do what? He wave his hand. He did not touch anyone, none of them. All those thousands are healed. From the mouth of Mufti Menk, go and search the video. He just moved. He just waved his hand. I am assuming that the video called maybe the miracle of a prophet Isa. If somebody can find what minute he said that, you know, if somebody watch it, let me know, please, and so we can take that part and show the Abdul. So here you see that when a blind man came to Muhammad, neither his God was able to make him see, neither Muhammad was able to make him metaphorically see. In the case of Jesus, the blind man, he said to Jesus, Lord, I want to see. And here, there is something very, very, very beautiful. Why the blind man want Jesus to make him see? How even the blind man knew that this is Jesus? the one which he heard about, obviously. The blind man, he have a heart to see. He felt the glory of Christ in front of him, yet he is blind. The blind man, he did not ask Jesus for food, for a sandwich, for shelter. He asked for something nobody can do. I want to see. What a beautiful event to witness if we are there. How many of us we have eyes, especially the Mohammedan, and they go after a child molester, yet a blind man, he was able to see that his Savior is standing in front of him, and he asked him to see. When we talk about blindness, there is people who cannot see physically, like their eyes is damaged, and even that Jesus can fix your eyes for you. But there is people who have eyes, but they are blind. It doesn't matter how sharp their vision is. So the Muhammad did not notice, this Muhammadan did not notice that his God, he's making fun of the Messiah, because now we are saying the Messiah is God, but God become a man. But this scumbag Muhammadan, I'm not insulting you, by the way. I mean, you better repent before you go to hell. He insulted Jesus, saying that we laugh at Jesus. When he say we laugh at the Christian, he meant we laugh at Jesus. He laughed at Jesus. Why? Because God become a man. But this same Abdul in his filthy book could not deny that the Messiah, the man, can raise people from death. If you go in the Quran, you will see that the resurrector is only Allah. Okay? We have the Messiah now, so we have two. We have two resurrectors. Two resurrectors. Allah, according to the Quran, can resurrect, and there's no proof of that, by the way. Talk is cheap. I can say I can do that. You can say that. Everybody can say I can resurrect. Talk is cheap. But we have from the book of the devil, the book of Muhammad, confirming. So Muslim cannot argue and debate, no, the Messiah did not resurrect people from death. So he remembered that Jesus is a man, but he don't remember that Jesus is the resurrector. He remembered that Jesus is a man, but he don't remember that Jesus is the one who can make the blind see. And this is only the capability of God, because when you make a blind see, that means you created a new eyes for him. He's born blind. This is not a guy who give him medicine. He don't have a problem with vision. We can fix it. Maybe we can clear his vision. No. This is a person who is born blind. So this Muhammadan is laughing at Jesus, insulting Jesus, and this is additional proof that Islam is the most satanic, antichrist, evil cult. We can't even call it cult. It's Satan himself. For the whole purpose of Islam is to insult Jesus. In fact, he insulted not only the Messiah, he insult God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, as you see in front of you. And then if we go in the Quran, we will find that the God of Islam, he cannot even create anything without someone, the Muslim call him the Holy Spirit. Do we have any Muslim to argue with me about this? Is it true that Allah cannot create any human being without the help someone, you Muslim call him the Holy Spirit? In fact, the word help is not correct. Without the life giver, the life creator, the Holy Spirit, according to the Quran. Any Muhammadan can join us? Who is a Muhammadan can tell us what kind of God you have? So you deny that there is a, you say the Christian believe in the triune God and you Muslim don't believe in such a thing. It's funny, it's silly, it's stupid. Then we go in the Quran, we will find that your God did not create anything, not even singular creature, without someone, the Quran called him the Holy Spirit. Who is the Muslim can tell me who is the Holy Spirit and why Allah cannot create anything, any soul, any life without him? Any Muhammadan? If you go in the Quran, just to make it easy for you to understand what I'm saying, all right. If we search for the Holy Spirit in the Quran, we will find chapter 2, verse 87. Always the Holy Spirit attached to Jesus. And we support the Isa with the Holy Spirit. And here you need to notice that it is a holy and it is a Quddus. Quddus, this is not an Arabic word. This is coming from the Aramaic. Muhammad, he took it, he put it in his Quran. He's a stupid, he's a fool, he's a donkey. Because by taking the same exact word of what the Christians say about the Holy Spirit, you just confirm that this is God. Because how it is a ruh and how it is holy. To make it simple for you, if the ruh is a created, which means spirit, ruh, or ruh, depending on the language you use. If it is a created, and Islam confirmed that everything created commits sin, even angels. Remember the angels when they accused Adam that he will do mischievement, and Allah, he told them, tell me the names of those things if you are truthful, which means if you are telling the truth, if you are not a liar. So according to the Quran, angels are liars. So if the Ruh al-Qudus, as the Muhammadan claim, is the angel Gabriel, you know, I find so much similarity between the dumb Muhammad and the Jehovah's Witnesses. Suddenly Jesus is Michael. I mean, all kind of fictions. And here suddenly the Holy Spirit become Gabriel. And nowhere in the Quran ever it says that the Holy Spirit is Gabriel. But look what happened here. Isa, he have a clear sign. Muhammad have zero sign. Isa, he have a clear sign. If Isa have a clear sign, why he needs support of the Holy Spirit? If I go right now, I type the word Ruh al-Qudus or al-Qudus. This is chapter 2, verse 87. We show it to you already. This is chapter 253. Again, it says, وَأَيَّدْنَاهُ بِرُوحِ الْقُدُسِ. Exactly the same as it says in the page before it. You see? I highlighted for you. Do you see it now? Two verses says it clearly, and we supported him by the Holy Spirit. Who? Jesus. Okay. Where in the Quran it says Allah supported Muhammad by the Holy Spirit? Nowhere. Here again, chapter 5, verse number 110, it says, and we supported you by the Holy Spirit. 3 times. 3 times the Quran mentioned that Jesus was supported by the Holy Spirit. 3 times. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Trinity. So even the Quran, when it speaks about Jesus, we bring evidence 3 times. Why Allah did not support Muhammad with the Holy Spirit? Any Muhammadan can tell us? If you go in chapter 16, verse 102, it says, say Muhammad. By the way, it doesn't say Muhammad. We don't even know. He's talking to who? Nowhere it says Muhammad. You see, the Quran is not in order. So the Muslim, they add the word Muhammad between 2 brackets. And there is no point between this verse and the other verse. But let us go there. Say Muhammad, according to Muslims. Ruh al-Qudus has brought it. But look what the Muslim did. They put between 2 brackets Gabriel. It's not in the Quran. Who is the one who corrupt the Quran? The Muslims. How Gabriel become the Holy Spirit? Impossible. And I will tell you why. Angels in Islam are not spirit. They are not spirit. According to the Quran and according to Muhammad in the Hadith. Let us show you. In chapter 78, verse number 38, speaking about the day of judgment, what will happen? On the day when the spirit and the angels stand in ranks. If the angels are spirit, then this statement is stupid. Are you with me? Is Discord, the chat is frozen or something? Nobody is freeze. Guys, are you asleep in Discord? Abdul. Okay. So you see how stupid Islam is? Either this is a mistake in the Quran and the Holy Spirit is Gabriel as Muslims claim, and this verse somebody added, or this verse is true and there is no way the angels and the spirit is the same thing. Because it's going to be so stupid to say the spirit and the angels. And there is something very funny here. You will notice here it says the spirit, not spirits. Do you see that? This is speaking about a specific thing, not a spirit, not the spirits, the spirit. It is an individual. It is unique. And the angels. This stupid Quran again, a book of confusion. The Muslims, they have no way to answer and say, who is the Spirit? How come here it doesn't say even the Holy Spirit? What happened? The answer is very simple. Muhammad is an idiot. He's trying to make a rap music song. So if he say, يوم يقوم الروح القدس والملائكة, then the song will not work. So he took it off. He found it too much heavy. But it is obvious that the angels and the Spirit are not the same. Another proof. When Allah, He said to the angels, He gave him like a quiz. Like, you have to tell me the names of those things. When they accuse Adam of doing mischievement, Allah said to the angels, after they accuse Adam he would do mischievement, He taught Adam all the names. And by the way, in the Old Testament it says God taught Adam the names of all things, which mean names of things he around him. Muhammad, he make different story about it. Then he said them before the angels. Said what? Those things. He told him the name of those things, and he put those things in the front of the angels. And he said to them, tell me the names of those things if you say the true. Now here the translation is very funny and stupid. Translation of who? Who is this guy? Wahid Din Khara? You know what Khara mean? Khara in Arabic means shit. This guy, his name, okay. Khan. I don't know, in the screen here it says Khara. Alright. Let us go to different translation. Maybe we can see better. Look here what it says. If you are truthful, if I say to you, give me the proof of this if you are truthful, which mean, if you could not, that mean what? You are not truthful. And here what he is asking them is very simple. There's no options. It's like there's no need to look for evidence. Tell me the names of those things if you are truthful. So if the angels could not tell those things, the names of those things, they are what? They are not truthful. Do you understand now where I'm going with this? People? Do you understand where I'm going with this? What that will lead us to? If the angels are not truthful, therefore Allah, He even command all the angels to bow down to Adam. As you see here. He commanded them to bow down to Adam because they did wrong. They were not truthful. And here you see Islam teaching something very dangerous. Angels bowing down to man. The first person who command someone to bow to someone he is not God is Allah Himself. And He is commanding who? The angels. But let us connect the dot. How we can call Jibril the Holy Spirit if the angels are not truthful? Are you with me? Do you see how stupid Muhammad is? Do you see how stupid Muslims and Islam is? Angels in the Quran are not truthful. They fail. He said, if you are truthful, tell me the names. They said, we don't know. We don't know. We do not know the names. So they are not truthful. And then as a result of this, He commanded them. He told Adam, hey Adam, tell them the name. Tell them. Get them busted. He told them the names. And then he told the angels, bow down to Adam. So how we call and how we claim, if you are a Muslim, and thank God I'm not a donkey like you, that Gabriel is the Holy Spirit, holy and not truthful at the same time. And you will notice here, Muslim cannot say Gabriel is not included. No, Allah, he said to all the angels, read carefully, the angels, not some, not a few. Allah said to the angels, to all the angels, I'm going to create somebody who will inherit the earth. They said, you will place therein someone who will do mischievement and shed blood, while we glorify you with the praises and thanks. Allah, he said to them, I know what you know not. I know what you know not. So now here there's a contradiction of knowledge. The angels, they have a knowledge that Adam will do mischievement. Allah knowledge is different from their knowledge, but we know that the angels, they were right. Correct? He did mischievement, yet he accused them to be not truthful. And how he proved that they are not truthful? He have a dog, he called him Susu. He said to the angels, do you know the name of my dog? They said, no, we don't. Say, see, I'm God. His name is Susu. You don't know the name of my dog. Do you see the stupidity? You should do the opposite. He should say to them, okay, go and do something behind the wall. Name those cats and dogs names. Don't tell me. Name it in your head. Don't even tell anyone. And ask me the names. I will tell you, to show them that he have knowledge. The same as Jesus, he can read the mind of the Jews when he said, go and your sin is forgiven. He was reading their mind, saying to themselves, who is this person who commits such a great sin, forgiving sin? Who he think he is? So Allah, he gave the names, and then Allah, he challenged them to tell the names. It should be the opposite. If you want to tell them that, you want to show them that you know the unseen, and nobody can hide from you anything, and you can see the future, it should be the opposite. It should be they are the one who give the names, and then they ask Allah, okay, what the name of those things? We gave them names in our head. Tell us the names. This is how stupid the Quran is. And here we notice that, as we said, angels are not truthful, which means they are liars. So how we can say that the Holy Spirit, or Ruhul Qudus, is Gabriel, if Gabriel is one of the angels who were commanded to bow down to Adam, for he did lie? Can we call a liar, untruthful creature holy? Do we have any Muslim? Somebody saying why Hindu in the thumbnail. Is that what hurting your feeling? This is the problem? Well, maybe Allah looked like him. Maybe he's an elephant. Because according to my knowledge, in the cartoon I saw, the guy who lied too much, his nose grow. And you cannot get a nose bigger than the elephant. This is what is hurting your feeling. It's not hurting your feeling that the Hindus, they have a god is an elephant.
Hi.
Aren't you the one last time you spoke and you said stupid things and I bounced you out?
No, look, don't kick me. I just want to like chill, okay?
You want chili, yeah. Anyone, the guy is just to block this guy here. Block him. He come on the, you know, he want to chill. Filthy. Just block him. He want to chill. Go chill and do breastfeeding from with your neighbor, Muslim neighbor. All right. This is how stupid this religion is. And then, if you read the Quran, you will see how stupid the Quran. The verse after this, we were talking about, like here, if we change verses instead of verses, what the Muslim they put between two brackets, abrogate. They say, you are a muftari, you are a forger. Nay, nay, but most of them don't know. What is the answer? They are asking you, how come yesterday you said something, and today you are saying the opposite? How you can claim that this is an abrogation? You see, the Muslim, they put between two brackets the word abrogate, but the Quran doesn't even say that word. It says, وَإِذْ بَدَّلْنَا آيَةً مَكَانَ آيَةً. If we change or put a verse in a place of other verse, how you can do that? Isn't it this is the word of God? This verse proved that the Quran is a joke and Muhammad was fabricating his own. And look, even the Arab, they say to him, you are a muftari, you are a forger, liar. What the defense of Muhammad? Nay, nay, but most of them don't know. Is that an answer? If you go to the court and the judge asks you, you say no, but they don't know, you go to jail. What? No, they don't know. Is that the defense of God? And now Muhammad want to confirm that this is a Quran from God. He says, okay, the one who bring it to me, Muhammad tell them, the one who bring it to you is Ar-Ruh al-Qudus. Why he did not say Gabriel, if it's Gabriel? Muhammad is copying from the Christians. Jesus said, I will send you the Comforter. Who is the Comforter? Can you guys help me? Even the Comforter, by the way, the Muslim, they made him Muhammad. Right? Even this one, do you see the fraud of Muhammad, the forgery of Muslims? I will send you the Comforter. And this Comforter is the Spirit who will abide with you forever. Is Muhammad the Spirit? He will abide with us forever. The verse is so clear. So, Ar-Ruh al-Qudus is the Holy Spirit who guide us, who inspire us and inspire the disciple of Christ, and who abide with us forever. That's why it's called the Ruh al-Qudus, for it is a spirit of God, the Spirit of God, and because it's Spirit of God, it's holy. It's God. And here again, we notice how Muhammad, he copied from the Bible a phrase, expose him as a liar, show that he is a forger. Do we have any Muslim would like to join us? Only if you are a Muslim, please. Any Abdul? Muhammad, he took names from all religion around him. Allah from the Arab pagan, they took it from the Aramaic. The Aramaic, they took it from the, beyond Persia. It's a name very well known, the moon god. The whole world was divided between worshipping most famous gods, the sun god and the moon god. The sun god mostly was worshipped in cold areas where people don't see the sun a lot. People who hate the sun, or let us say they consider the sun as a harmful person, like the Arab, they hate the sun. They fear the sun. The sun is the one who destroy their crops, kill their animals, make them thirsty in the desert. The moon is the one who give them nice, cool time. It's beautiful in the desert. The one who lighten their night so they can enjoy it. I say Muslims, I like to have Muslims. I see people put their hand and they are not Muslims. What's wrong with people? Do you guys understand me? How many times I say Muslims, Muslims, people in Discord, Muslims. Do we have any Muslims? Cotton, you are a Muslim? All right, Cotton, as long you are a Muslim, put your hand up. All right, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, salam.
I have a question.
You have a question? What is your
Yes.
what is your comment about what you heard?
It's I joined kind of late, but I have a question about Christianity. I'm thinking of converting.
Well, I don't want you to convert. I want you to convert me first. What about you convert me?
Brother, I don't believe in my religion anymore. I want to become Christian.
You don't
So
believe
I'm
what?
just
You don't believe what?
I don't really believe in Islam anymore. I want to become Christian.
Okay, if you don't believe in Islam, go ahead and tell me that Muhammad is a false prophet, and then I will believe you. Go ahead.
Muhammad is a false prophet.
Why you say so?
Because from what I've read of the Quran, I've been raising it for my whole life, and there's so many things that just don't make more sense to me. Like when they talk about the properties of God, just they're contradictory and mutually exclusive. So I'm just wondering how Muhammad could really be the true prophet if he's making blatant lies, right?
All right.
Just
Okay. So
it's very hard to.
what is your
Yeah.
question about Christianity?
Yeah, my question is, I haven't read the Bible. I haven't read the Bible like a lot of times. I've only read it 2 times.
Can you speak
So I
slower?
just
Can you speak slower, please, so I can understand?
sorry. I haven't read the Bible many times, so I just wanted to ask about, I guess, the properties of God. That's my main contention in
You are
most
speaking
religions,
so fast, I
right?
cannot understand what you are saying.
Sorry, I'll say it slow. Um, my main contention is the properties of God and the attributes. That's my main contention in most religions. So I'd just like to know, is God unchanging in Christianity?
What is the word attribute mean of God?
Attribute, I guess there'll be an emergent trait of his properties. For example, if you say that
Like what?
An emergent trait of his properties. For example, if I was to say God is all loving, then we would see his his attribute would be to love everyone, right? And it'd be good to everyone. That would be an
Yeah,
emergent trait.
people they use those words. For me, I don't really consider, because those are not only attribute of God, because you can find them, a human. Because all loving doesn't mean really he's all loving, because still God, he don't love the wicked, do he?
In Islam, he doesn't, but I thought in Christianity, he still loves everyone.
No, God doesn't love everyone. Who says so?
Oh, maybe I haven't read the Bible enough then.
No, it's not about
Okay.
you. Maybe you did read or not, but do God and in Christianity love the wicked?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he
No,
loves everyone.
no.
They also
God
have
in the
the
Bible, no,
just judgment,
God
right?
in the Bible says, peace for those who love peace and no peace for the wicked man or the wicked one. So God make it clear that he love no one, he is wicked. The wicked man, he is not in relation with God. because you cannot
Mm-hmm.
be in a relation with God and you are wicked. You are hurting people, you are killing people, you are harming people. So how God can love you? So God loved
Mm-hmm.
everyone, so he sent that love the world. What love the world mean? He loved to save the whole world. So he sent his only begotten son. So the word love here,
Mm-hmm.
many they abuse it and they misuse it and they make it like as if a God in the Bible is a hippie. He give a hug to anyone in the street. That's not true. God of the Bible will send people to hell. He will punish people. He will reward people. And he love not satanic people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because well, one of the problems is if a God was to love everyone, but I think that'd be slightly contradictory to the notion of like evil
I did
itself.
not.
Because how could you love evil if you're perfectly
Like, I
good?
don't know what you will say next, but I was telling you the correct answer regards to what you will say next, because when
Yeah.
some Christians, because uh, they are like they have their idea of love. They say to you, "Well, God, He love everybody." God, no, it's not true. God don't love rapists. God don't love child molesters. God, Jesus says it's better for you to put a milestone in your neck and throw yourself in the deep ocean. Those who hurt the little ones. Is that an advice of someone love you to put a milestone
Um.
in your neck? So Jesus here, the message of love of Jesus is to warn you from being wicked. Repent, repent, and then you will be acceptable to be with God or in the way to go to God.
Mm-hmm.
When Judah, as an example, Judah was one of the disciples of Jesus. He's not just a guy in the street. He was one of the 12 disciples. Jesus, he sent him out before they have the Last Supper. Why? Because he don't deserve to be in the table of Jesus. He
Mm-hmm.
don't. Why? Because he knew that tomorrow the wicked man, Judah, is going to sell the Messiah for a pieces of gold or silver.
But this punishment can still coexist of God loving them in the first place.
No,
Right? A
no,
father loves
my
their
friend,
child,
my
but they'll
friend,
still
my friend.
discipline their child.
Did God burn cities for committing sin?
Uh, yes.
He did. So, love of
Mm-hmm.
God is not the love of wickedness.
Yeah, no, of course.
The love of God will be equal as much as his love is powerful. It can be his anger too. So, when you reach the point of extreme wickedness, you will have a consequence. And you cannot talk about love,
Mm-hmm.
and you cannot claim that, okay, you see, those who they are wicked, the wicked ones, they claim that God love everybody, so we can do whatever we want, okay, go and have a license to do anything. Well, God love everybody, come on. Those are wicked,
Mm-hmm.
and they are trying to give themselves some morphine. Like, okay, you know what, I'm sinner. But there is a huge difference between someone, he do sin, all of us we do sin. Nobody can say he is not a sinner. But there is people who they are wicked. Sin is their business. Sin is their life, is their blood. Hurting people is their joy. Those are wicked. Those are not just sinner. You know, like a
Mm-hmm.
person, in our life, sometimes somebody he is in fear, so he lie because I fear if I say this, they will do this to me. So I prefer to lie. He knew it's wrong. He knew it's wrong, not right. He knew, but he said to himself, you know what? Okay, I will lie to save myself from those people. Maybe he is not so confident. Maybe they will kill him. Maybe it's a physical harm they will do if he didn't lie. But this is not justified. But he justified to himself. But still, he is not wicked. He is just a weak person. But the wicked person is a person he is so strong with his nature of harming. He enjoy it. He love it. He go and look for a woman in the street walking alone, a child, to rape and kidnap. He is wicked. He planned for his wickedness. He harmed the most weak one. And those people, they will have
Mm-hmm.
an extreme punishment from God. So if somebody says God love everyone, that is to abuse God and to make God look like, okay, he is a hippie. He give hugs to anyone. You do as you wish, and God, He love. Those are people giving themselves license to be bad, to be wicked. But we have the Bible, and the Bible is
Mhm.
so clear how God will treat the wicked ones.
Mhm.
All right?
Okay.
Yeah. Anything
I
else?
guess the next question would be then, why did God allow evil to exist? Because
Allow
in
what?
that case, then God wouldn't have to go.
No,
Why
God.
would God allow
Listen,
evil to exist if this is
the
the
Bible,
case?
the Bible says that the sun will raise above the good and the bad. All right? Why? Because I will give you equal opportunity to receive the same sun, the same benefit, and the one of you who use it wrongly, he will be punished. So he did not allow.
That's fine, but
He did not.
God is a necessary
No,
being, so evil exists
he did
because of
not.
Him.
He did not allow the evil. It's you who allow it. He gave you free will. In order to be,
You can have free will without.
in order
You can
to,
have free will without evil. By the way, that is possible.
sorry,
You can have free will without the ability to be evil.
no, you cannot. Free will.
Yes, I'll explain further. Right. So
No,
it would seem like you can't currently,
there is no need to
but
explain.
because God is the necessary being, means He creates everything. He could make it in a way where free will would not doesn't need
That
you
is
to have
not a free
evil
will
or the
then. That is not a free
capability for
will.
evil,
That is not a free will. This is limited free will.
dude.
It's like saying to you, I will make you a male, but I will cut your penis. So now you will not fornicate. But you are not a male yet, you are not, no more. So this is a fiction. This is not a free will. You are fabricating things. So free will is to give you the total free will to do whatever you wish. You can even insult God. You can spit at God. They spit at Jesus on the cross. They made fun of Jesus on the cross. They killed Jesus. Not only they spit on him, they killed him. That is a free will. So free will is you do as you will, or you do as God will. This is why Jesus says, not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of my Father, but the one who do his will. So my will versus yours. Either I choose my will, because most likely my will be against yours. Why? Because you are so holy, I am not. You are so perfect, I'm not. You are so wonderful, I am not. So the sinner me, my will always will take me wrong, the same as what happened to Adam. So either this is why God, he gave you the way to repent, to believe, to, like, told you what to do, what not to do. He's helping you. He did not leave you in the land and say, okay, go and do as you wish, and then I will judge you later without telling you. You see, if you don't receive a law, you will not be judged by the law. You have to receive it. Same as when God, he created Adam, the first thing he said to him, this is your garden, enjoy it, but don't get close to this. He gave him the first law. He failed. That is where the judgment comes. So free will, do anything you want, including the tree, you can go. But I told you, if you eat from it, you will die. Don't. He did. Totally free will. So God says don't, but he did not preventing him by power. He gave him the command and he gave him the wisdom. He said to him, this is what will happen to you if you decide to do it. And this is what will happen to you again if you decide to follow your own will against God's will. Anyway, he is gone. So it's a fiction to say that, okay, God, he love everybody. There's some Christians, actually, by the way, they give a false information about Christianity. They abuse the word love, uh, and you know they keep talking about Jesus love everybody, Jesus love everybody. No, Jesus don't love everybody. No, he don't. Jesus will send people to hell. Is those who are going to hell, he love them? No. Do Jesus love the rapist, the child molesters? Well, if you say so, you are insulting Jesus. Do Jesus love evil? Just to make it simple. Do God love evil? Do God love Satan? So when those people, they say God love everybody in Christianity, they are giving you false information about Christianity. You will be judged. You will be doomed. You will be punished. The one who live by the sword shall die. Correct? That is justice. When he come with the glory of his angels, he will command the angels, he says, bring them in front of me and slay them. That is the Messiah when he come. To do the judgment over mankind. Somebody saying, is Christ a king? No, he is not a king. He's the King of Kings, because the word king is an insult to Jesus. Why? Because first, Jesus is not of this world. He is from above, and all kings, including you and me, if we are kings, from below. And below mean from sin. We are from below. It's not about a location. Above and below is not a location. Because in the space, there is no above, there is no below. You know, I mean, the earth now, like depending on your time, if it's daytime, you're above. You think you're above, right? At night, 12 hours after, you're below. But it's the same place. You know, it did not go anywhere. It's just the earth going around itself. So is God is above or God is below? So he is from above, you are from below for a reason. For he is God, he is holy, and you are not. And Christ is the King of Kings, for kings are corrupt, for kings are pervert, most of them, money lovers, killers, criminals, abusers. The Messiah is not a king. He's not. He's the King of Kings. What does that mean? He will judge the kings the same he judged every poor person. When God come in the day of judgment, when the Messiah come, kings and homeless will stand next to each other. Your kingdom mean nothing. In fact, you will be judged way more severe for you abusing your people. Do we have any Mohammedan? CP. Prove me that Jesus made the blind see. My friend, I don't know what to say to you. You look like you are blind too, to the point you think I did not see your text. So you have to repeat it, and you have to make the message so big. Are you blind? Do you suffer from like a vision issue? What's wrong with you? Now, when you say to me, prove to me that Jesus made the blind see, how I can prove that to you? I need your help. I'm going to help you more. Prove to me that your dad is your dad. Were you there when your dad have sex with your mama? No. So now what you will say to me? You will say, because I wasn't there and I could not witness it, obviously your dad is not dad and your mom is not your mom. Because you could not see it, you were inside. You were blind at that time. When you get out, you can see, but it's too late. They are done. You came out 9 months after. So based on your logic, if you could not see it, never happened. Well, you know what? The sex between your mama and your dad, that never happened because you were not there at all. Even though you are the main purpose of this party. Let us make a Abdul. Huh? It was you. It is you the target. Your dad, he spent 2 hours doing boom boom so he can shoot you out. But he didn't know what he's shooting. It was a blank. because still you are blind, empty. It's an empty bullet. Did I answer you? I know I hurt your feeling. Go hard or go home. Are you talking about sex? Unbelievable. Is that what happened to your dad? You told your dad that, right? Go hard, go home, or go hard. Your mom said that to your dad. He got hard, and then he did your mom, and then 9 months after we have a stupid you. DNA test. Okay, hold on. First of all, DNA test proved nothing, and I will tell you why. What if your uncle did boom your mama? Because DNA test doesn't say 100% you are the son of this man. It says most likely he is. Your uncle have the same DNA. What if your uncle is the twin of your daddy? Huh? It might be your uncle. He's more handsome than your dad. No, this is a big fat lie. There is nothing called DNA 99.999. Go check it out. You are just an idiot. Because DNA is from two people, not from one. So it's impossible to come 99. That means you are, just to show you how stupid you are. You are saying that you, all of you, is coming from your dad, nothing from your mama. You see how stupid you are? It looked like your dad, he was masturbating. He was not having sex with your mama. The DNA to be 99.999 from your dad, you donkey, that means your dad, he made you alone. Your mom is not there. How in the world you will have the same DNA of your father, 99.999, so like sound like Saddam Hussein election? Where do I get those people from? I don't know. Yeah, the base is squints. Okay, yeah. Anyway.
How are you, Christian Prince?
I'm fine. You're fine?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
How I can help you?
Well, I got out from Islam.
You're what?
I got out from Islam.
Why you get out? What's wrong?
Well, I got out from Islam because I saw some pagan sources.
Last time I spoke to you, you did not like you were rejecting to leave Islam.
No. I was mostly responding to your political ideas. I mean, I got out. I can say A and B at the same time. So I've been dealing with people, and they showed me some sources. I didn't like them, so I'm out from Islam. But I'm not a Zionist.
But you are not Zionist?
No, I cannot be, my friend.
Do you want me to make you a Zionist?
No, my friend, it's not worth it because I reject this idea.
Rejected what? Rejected Islam, right?
I rejected Islam and I rejected Zionism too.
Do you
Both.
what do you think if I can make you join with me the IDF?
Why shall I? You cannot join them
Why
unless you
not?
are a citizen.
Because the IDF, they are fighting the evil. So if you are a truthful person, you should support anyone who is fighting evil. If I go in the street right now and I see
My friend,
I see a snake, all right? Now the snake not next to my house, it's not even in my yard. Isn't it my duty, if I am a person who claim to be caring for people around me, to kill the snake?
so I agree that Islam is evil, but I think that evil exists in all corners of the earth,
No.
and that the devil
You see,
doesn't limit
there is
himself to one
different.
group of
There is
people.
different. There is different. As an example, the one you call them Zionist, all what they want is just to get their land back. They don't want your land. They don't want my land. They don't want your house. They want
They
their
can
land.
have
Can they have their land? Yes, they should.
yes, they can, but they also should give a land for other people too.
No, it's you who took their land. What give them? What
No,
who? Like who?
they already
Like
have most of the land. They already have most of
no,
the
they
land that
gave
they have, so they should keep it.
they gave already 60% of the Israeli land to people who don't
Yeah,
belong there. Those are not
they gave.
those are not Palestinians. Those are Arab. They
So
should
then, do you
not be
support?
there. The Israeli, my friend, the Israeli are stupid. If I am in charge, I will never give them 1 centimeter. This is not their land. It's not.
Christian Prince, Christian
Listen,
Prince,
listen,
you could.
listen. Listen.
Can I please speak,
This is
my friend?
not their land. Now you left Islam. That's wonderful.
I
But you
did.
should,
I did.
but you should understand that the Jews are fighting for their land, not your land. They are not taking your home. It's you who took their home. It's you who
And
wanna eliminate them. It's you who
I
don't like
became.
them to exist. So if you are out of Islam, you should understand that your
I want
hatred,
them to exist. I want them to
your
exist, but they have to
hatred,
be in
your
peace.
listen, your hatred to the Jews should be gone. You
It's
don't,
not hatred.
so what you have?
My friend, just because I left, it doesn't mean I can get rid of all my political ideas. I'm just telling you that,
Well,
the
no,
Jews
your
are.
political idea is still judged by your ex-religion now. Give me a reason for give me a reason why you are against Israel.
I am against them because they are escalating the war, which is going to take us down the path of World
Not
War
true.
III, and they
Not
don't
true. Not
want to
true.
compromise.
Not
They don't
true.
want to compromise.
Not true. They are kissing the ass of those Arab for the last 70 years. Please let us have peace. Each time they ask him to sign peace. The Arab is the one they attack. Name for me one war they started. Not even one of them. They started. It was the Arab Muslims who started the war.
1948.
See,
1948.
they
They
are the
started.
Arab who started all the wars. They started the Arab.
In res-
All
that was a response.
yes, all the wars they started the Arab. The Arab. In fact, in the beginning, the Israel was small. They said, okay, this is our land. Please let us sign peace
They started
agreement.
shooting people and
Jerusalem,
kicking them out
listen,
of their home.
Jerusalem is not even. It was not in their hand. The Arab they decide. The Muslims they decide to make an invasion. Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, Morocco, Tunisia, even Pakistan sent fighters from everywhere. And they attack by tens of thousands. At that time, Israel don't even have one airplane. There's four American Jews, just four. They came all the way from America with four airplanes. Two of them broke. Two airplanes broke.
Yeah, the
Israeli army,
British helped.
listen carefully. Israeli army at that time have two airplanes, and they are the kind you have to push them to go. Yet they were able to defeat a
I don't believe
massive,
it. No,
a massive army of the Muslims. So look what
no,
happened.
I don't
Listen.
believe
What
that.
no? What no? They took Jerusalem. Go check the history. What are you talking about? They took Jerusalem. They took Sinai. They took Julan Heights. Each time you attack them,
Yeah,
you lose. And today, you see, this is the proof that God is in their side. Today, you will lose. You will
no,
be
not
defeated.
not really.
You want to bet?
Doesn't prove,
You want to bet?
because I believe that God can allow
You
evil
wanna bet?
people to
No, you
prosper.
see, because God in their side, you are the evil one.
I'm evil.
Yes, you are the Muslim, but now you left Islam, so I cannot call you, but you are with them because you are the one who wanna harm them.
No, no, I want peace. I want
Hezbollah,
peace.
listen, in October 7, Israel, they left Gaza for 20 years. 20 years. They even give them money. Even Qatar, they send money, they send it to them in van. They give them electricity. They don't even pay for it. They have
Okay.
the electricity, the water, the money is coming through Israel. Israel didn't have manufacturer for electricity. And then
And
after
Israel was
20
giving
years,
money to Hamas too.
hold on, who care? Hamas is elected by the Palestinian. They call them Palestinian. Is that a crime of Israel now? They are the one who elected them. They control them.
50% of them
Listen,
are
listen.
children now, so
So
they didn't elect them.
October 7, who started the war? Israel or Muslims?
Can I explain
No,
something?
don't. You can explain later. Who started the attack?
Okay, so the attack was initiated by Hamas.
Not Hamas, by Muslims.
Yeah, by Muslims, which
Uh,
under the group of Hamas, they
No, not by
initiated the
Hamas,
attack.
by Muslims. because all of you Muslims dance around the world. In Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Syria, in Egypt, every Muslim was praising the victory of Allah. Now the victory of Allah turned to be the
Okay, so they did
most,
some war crimes. They
listen,
did
listen,
some.
the war crime is what you do, not what the Jewish do. They did not rape a
No,
single woman.
okay, so I'm
Can they
telling you
rape?
both
Do the Jews
both
do
was
the Jewish men have penises? Yes, they do. Can they rape? They can. Did they do that to your women? No. The trashy is the Muslims, the garbage is the Muslims, Allah is the Satan.
those are war crimes. If the
What war
Muslims did
crime?
that,
You Muslims are, you are the war crime. The Muslims, everything you do is a crime.
yeah, they did war crimes. I'm not saying they
Uh,
didn't do war crimes.
No, no, no. You see, they did not do a crime. You kill their women, you bomb their cities, they bomb your city.
And I'm
In
telling you,
fact,
Hamas did war
no,
crimes.
not only, I say, forget about Hamas. There's nothing is called Hamas. It's just, you know, don't fool yourself with those things. What Hamas? This is Islam. This is the garbage of Muhammad. All of you are the same. The Jews, they until now, they send a text
Okay,
message. They
but
send text message to the building. Shut up. They send a text message to the building. Says, leave. You have etc. time. We are going to hit this target. Leave. This is what the Jews do until now. After all what you did to them.
yeah, but then they go to the other area and they
The
tell you go
same.
here.
The same. They send you a message. Leave. To
This
avoid
is
casualty of civilians. But then,
my friend.
because you Muslims are evil, you use women and children as a human shield. So when the Jews shoot, oh, kill children, oh, kill you know, shoot a hospital, but you make your command center under the hospital, under a school. My friend, I'm glad that you
What are you?
left. I'm glad you left Islam, but still you need to change your way you're thinking. Keep listening to me, and then you will see I'm right. And just to show you that the God is the God of the Jews, is in the side of the Jews. My God, the Messiah himself, he will give them victory. Just wait. Just wait. Few weeks from now, and you will see every single potato will go down to his knee. You are crying for peace, ceasefire now, ceasefire. When you attack, you dance. When you kill their women, you dance. When you rape their children, you dance. And when they come to you, the real men of Israel, you hide in the tunnel like cockroaches. You ask everybody in the world to put pressure on the Jews not to attack you. Who is the coward? You want war? You got war. And me, myself, I will be so upset if Israel did not finish the job, because you have to kill those cockroaches, every single terrorist. Israel don't want to harm somebody, don't want to fight them. That's not true. Why the Israeli are not shooting at the Christians in Lebanon? The Christians are not attacking them. They don't want to destroy Israel. They are neighbor too. In fact, Lebanon is the land of the Christian, not the land of those Muslims. Those are not from Lebanon. Those Shia in Lebanon, they are not Lebanese. They are not. Those are people, they came from Iran, they came from Persia. They are not from Lebanon. They have nothing to do with Lebanon. All the Muslims in Lebanon are not Lebanese. Some they came during the Ottoman Empire. Some they came during the Albanian occupation. Some they came, but none of them is from the country. Which Christian country, which Christian neighborhood in the Middle East attacked their neighbor? Nobody. Go check it out. Why? We have different food? We listen to different music? Why you want to kill? We don't. There is a reason. The reason is the devil Muhammad. And a true Christian who don't support Israel, he is absolutely a fraud. Anyone he claimed to be a true Christian, and by the way, just to let you know, even if you are a Christian, those Muslims believe Saturday first, Sunday next, and then Monday. What does that mean? Well, we kill the Jews first, then we kill the Christian, and then we kill the atheists, and we kill the Hindus, and then we kill the Buddhists. The killing will never stop. And then if there's nobody to kill, they kill each other. Shia and Sunni, they kill. ISIS want to kill Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda want to kill Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood want to kill, Al-Mu'tazila. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody will kill everybody. It's a satanic cult. Why doesn't say Israel say Islam? Because simply they are doing politics. When you are in the position of politics, you don't say those things. Already they have all the pressure on them. If somebody say the truth, the whole world will be upon him. If I am now Netanyahu and I say the problem is Islam, everybody will attack me. This is not true, he's a liar. But now he says it's Hezbollah. Oh, okay, Hezbollah. Right? Oh, it's Hamas. I mean, they are saying just Hamas, they are saying Hezbollah, and still they are ganging against them. Like this is scumbag, Macaroni from France. He says Netanyahu should remember that his country was not going to exist if not the United Nations. You see how ignorant, coward, filthy he is? Israel exists thousands of years ago before France, you coward. It's not the United Nations made Israel exist. It's not your stupid United Nations. If the United Nations is the one who make countries exist, that means France before United Nations never exists. You see how stupid he is? Because which one is older, the United Nations or France? So if you are recognized by United Nations, doesn't make your country exist because you exist before them. Coward potato. Bring me this macaroni to wipe the floor with him. Coward. What the United Nations have to do with the existence of Israel? I heard Johar has reverted Saturday and Sunday as their weekend instead of a Friday and Saturday. I know, I mean, maybe it's about business mostly, maybe. Honest to God, if I could join the IDF right now, I will immediately. I've been in the army. I'm not a person who speak about, war. I do not know what war is, but I would love to join them because they need our support. Every dog in the world is against Israel right now. Even the White House dogs. So don't leave them alone. This is the time they need you. Can Christian join IDF? Maybe you do not know anything about Israel. In Israel, in the Supreme Court, there's a Christians. Don't you know? There's judges, there's police, there's IDF officers, there's intelligence, there's Shin Bet, Christians. What's wrong with you? What do you mean Christian can join IDF? There is many videos in YouTube made by Christians quoting you the gospel, not only the Torah. They are IDF soldiers. They make videos since last year. There's many of them. Go check them out. They are IDF soldiers. How to join them? I don't know. You can maybe contact the embassy. I don't know. But for me, because I'm an Arab, they will be always. I will be suspicious for them because it might be spy, it might be etc. You never know. I will not actually be surprised if they did not let me get inside the country. I mean, why they will? So what if you are American? You might be, those Hezbollah, they are very evil. And they look, just today I saw in the news, Hezbollah, they were able to recruit an Israeli to kill an Israeli scientist. Can you believe it? Last week, the Israeli intelligence, they discover that Israel, they recruit two Jewish people, Jewish from Israel to do, kill and assassinate people in Israel. This war is not a joke. They will do anything they can to buy people. You know, they are evil. And there's always somebody, he is a Judah for sale. He's a Christian, he's a Jew, doesn't matter. Always there is Judah. Don't you know that? There's people, you praise them, you think they are good, and then in one day they betray you. There's people, they go on YouTube and they speak about the Holy Spirit coming from the microwave, insulting the Holy Spirit. Oh, the Holy Spirit coming from their condition. And then you will see the devil of them, because they hate Israel and they hate Christianity, and they are doing business. Always there is a Judah who want to sell you for some silver. Remember that, you know. Always remember that. Anyway, victory comes from God. As God, he will. And because we know that this is the land of Israel, regardless of those people, they are good and bad, because there's nothing that's called bad as bad totally and good as good totally. Every nation, there's scumbags, there's thieves, there's liars, there's deceivers, there's decent, there's, you know, there's all kind of people. But at the end of the day, God, he have a plan for Israel. And you will see, if you go to Romans 11, that Israel will be saved. That is the plan of God. Israel will be saved. And no matter how much those evil people do, I say, Israel will be saved. And you see, this war now might go crazy. Who want to bet that Israel will win? I don't bet on it. I am sure of it. They never lost a war. And there is a mystery behind that. God is mystery. For his power is amazing. With all what they plan, with all what they do, with all what they try, they always lose. And this time is no different. They gang always from everywhere. They bark. They bite. They attack you from behind. For they are who they are. I saw a video actually. Let me see if I can show it to you. They planted, they have tunnels under a town, under a village. All right, let me show you this video. You want war? All right. Israel will give you war. What is the name of the video? All right, let me show you this video here. They want to play with Israel. All right?
المشاهد التي
Take a look. Under all this area, Hezbollah, they have tunnels. Do you see with me what do you see? You want war? You got war. You want more? They will give you war. And now they will kiss everybody ass. Please, please stop the Jews. They are doing murder. They are destroying our cities. But they are shitting at Israel, at cities and towns for the last 11 months. It was okay. It was okay. But when Israel attacked back, it's not okay. Oh, this is Hezbollah. Hezbollah can do that. They bomb an Orthodox church. Well, it's if that is the case, well, good. Because if somebody hiding inside the church, the same as the Muslim, they took even the church of Bethlehem, the church where Jesus is born. The terrorists, they hide in it. You remember? They you know, they disrespect the church. They were peeing in the holy place inside the church, the terrorists of Yasser Arafat. So they hide inside the church, they hit the church, they say, see, they are destroying a church. A lie. We know better. If you hide inside the synagogue, they will hit the synagogue. Because it's more important to destroy the terrorists from protecting a stone. Stones can be rebuilt. Those cowards, they have no limitation of their filth. And always they go at war and then they beg everybody to stop the war. The same as happened in October 1973. Soviet Union, America, please, Israel, stop. Israel took all of Sinai. All of Sinai. They took the Golan Heights. They almost arrived to Damascus. Each time they attack, they will end begging to stop. But isn't it this is what you begged for, you work for, you die for? Cowards. Yeah, we know Jafar, who is the one who killed those Catholic people. The Muslim, they shoot them and they say the Jews. We saw this, they did the same in Syria. To accuse the regime of Syria, who is a Muslim anyway. They accuse him that he is killing Christians, but the Muslims in Syria, the terrorists, they were the ones shooting the Christians in Syria. We know the lies of Muslims. Nothing new. Nothing new. We are from the Middle East, my friend. We are not from the moon. Those lies you can give them to those blue eyes people who have no idea what you are talking about, and they will believe it. Not to us. In fact, I have a message in Patreon from a Palestinian lady. She said to me, you are right. My mom always, she said, living with 100 Jew, but not with one Muslim. This is her mother. She is a Palestinian. She is born there. Those are the real ones, not those Arab. Those are the ones who exist there for thousands of years. Not those Arab Muslims who came with the Arab occupation. Her mom, she used to say her to when she is a kid, 100 Jew, yet not a Muslim. So she preferred to have 100 neighbor, they are Jews, but not a single Muslim. We know you. You know yourself. You Muslims, in fact, you don't like to live between Muslims. If you go in the Middle East, you will see how expensive any area is a Christian area. You will see a Muslim is willing to pay 5 times the price of a normal apartment. He can get the same apartment in his Muslim area for 5 times less. But he will die to buy an apartment between the Christians because he can trust his kids to be in the street. He can trust his wife to go out in the balcony. Muslim women don't dare even to go in the balcony. The second she go in the balcony, everybody start masturbating. Muslims, am I lying? Your prophet, he sat in the front of his house. A woman walked by. What happened? What she did? She wear a bikini? No. Was she naked? No, she is wearing hijab and burqa. Burkina Faso. What Muhammad did? He kept looking at her ass. He got hard, excuse my language. He cannot take it no more. His penis become like an umbrella stick. He stood up, his penis is coming up. Oops. He went to his wife like a zombie. His wife, she was doing leather tanning. She was doing what? Leather tanning, which means she is sweating, she is smelling, she is, she is not, this is not the time for sex. He threw her on the floor and boom, boom. After he finished, he said, women advances and retire in the shape of the devil. This is the Muslims. Your wife, she go in the balcony, they start touching their penis. Am I lying? This is your best man, Muhammad. They say to you that Islam teaches us not to look at a strange woman. You are right. Your Muslim don't even see in front of you when a woman walk in front of you. And how Muhammad gets so horny if he's not looking so crazy? How long he look? He was looking at what exactly? Her shoes? Her butt? Her nose? Her toes? Oh, he's a fetish. He like feet. If this is the prophet of those idiots, what about them? So you want to live between the Muslims? Your daughter, she is 6 years old. She go in the balcony, they start masturbating. Am I lying? The prophet have sexual desire to an infant. He asked for the hand of an infant. She is an infant. She is just born yesterday. That's your prophet. Go and live between the Jews. Your wife, she will go in the balcony. They will start masturbating like your prophet. We know. We know who is the wicked. And I'm not saying, by the way, between the Jews there's no wicked. Absolutely not. There's wicked everywhere. But wickedness in Islam is a lifestyle. Do you understand what I'm saying? Their best man is a wicked man. The best example for them is the most wicked evil. I mean, the guy, he went to his own son's wife and he flirted with her. According to Muslim books, I'm sure he effed her, which he is married. Right? uh, some women cause destruction to men. Look at Joseph from Egypt. Nice story, my friend. No woman can destroy a man unless he agree. If a woman, she get naked in front of me and I don't agree to go with her in the bed, she cannot, what she can do? What about men can destroy women too? Who said to you, who said that women don't get tempted by men? Why you are being foolish? Don't you think women, they can get horny and they can be tempted if you are good looking, not like me? When you go and you dress nice and you put perfume and you walk in the street and you make a hairstyle and you open your t-shirt to show your chest, you're doing what? Fashion? Or you are trying to tempt women? But because a man, he can be evil, he blamed the women for everything. He raped her, he says she tempted me. He kidnapped her, he says she invited me. Right? We blame the women for everything. But I'm not, doesn't mean that there's no women, they are evil. There is. There's women, they do it for sure. They do tempt you. They want to tempt you. But not everyone, she want to tempt you. The first temptation happened to you is you tempting yourself. So before you blame anyone, check yourself first. If I don't, if I go to a restaurant, I'm going to a restaurant to do what? To eat, right? So why I'm there? I'm tempted by the food. I'm hungry. My saliva is running. The animal inside me is telling me you need to eat. And the same for your private part. He want to eat. He's hungry. So either, like in the case of saliva and stomach, it's very hard. You need to eat. It's a must. It's not a choice. But in the case of your penis, you can control it. If you let it go and then you claim that she tempted you, you are a liar. All right. Do we have any Mohammedan? Yeah, people, they blame, always in society, we blame the weak one. Like the Jews now, why they are playing for everything? Because they are the weak one. They are the minority in the world. There are 15 million Jews in the whole earth. So everybody can spit at them. France, take a shot. Brazil, take a shot. South Africa, America, Canada, because they are little tiny, But if we want to go and attack the Muslims, we are talking about 1.5 billion versus 15 million. Which one is easy shot? So the cowards is the one who try to show his power over the short one. He go to the shortest in the crowd. He want to fight the shortest. Why? Because he's a coward. He's evil.
Hello?
Yes, the time. The Tiam?
Hey, Mr. Hey, Christian Brains.
Okay, are you a Muslim, my friend?
Nah, I'm Christian.
All right, how we can help you?
So, I'm a Christian, and I heard this Muslim things all over. And I could denounce this Muslim thing if I want to, but I noticed your page says Muslim only. So I have like 5 minutes to talk with you.
I don't know, today Discord sound is funny. I have a difficulty to understand what people are saying. So what he is saying?
I want to ask if I have 5 minutes to talk with you. I'm a Christian and I want to denounce
5 minutes
Muslim.
about what?
Huh? 5 minutes. So where did the Mecca bill, by the way? I understand it was built in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
this
is not our topic, my friend. Thank you. This is not our topic for now. We are switching our topic 1 billion degree. All right. So I hope today we have we mentioned many topics, and I hope we are here sharing knowledge. And I have a warning for those Christians. Don't let those media fool you. Israel is, in fact, is fighting your fight. It's your fight. They want to finish Israel so they can take Jerusalem, so you will never see it again. In Jerusalem today, you can go and preach the gospel. You can go check right now in YouTube how many preachers every day in Jerusalem, arguing, debating with the Jews, converting them to Christ. Can you do that if the Muslim took over? You know the answer. In Israel, Christianity is growing. In the Middle East, all of it, Christians are gone. Because either they force them to convert if they are weak in faith, they put pressure on them, economic pressure, job pressure, all kind of pressure, kidnap their daughter, rape them, harass them, and the result, there is less than 1% Christians in Turkey. A country used to be 100%. From 100%, less than 1%. In Gaza right now, there's 1,000 Christians out of 2 million something. This is a land used to be only Christian. What happened? They want to eliminate you. Wherever they go, they want to close our churches. They want to force your daughters to marry their sons. They want to force your boys to convert to Islam. They want to force you to eat as they eat, say as they say, and praise Muhammad. We are in the side of Israel because Israel is fighting for our side. And anyone he says to you, not true, say to him, you are a donkey. You have no idea what they want. This is not about Israel. They will finish Israel, they will finish you. Israel now is taking all the hate which should come to you. Especially the Catholic, the Muslim, they hate the Catholic. Because the Catholic were the Crusaders. The Catholic today, sadly, they forgot who used to be. The Catholic today, sadly, they are siding with Muslims. And I'm talking about the Pope. The Pope, he made the speech, says, may God protect Islam. Can you believe it? Satanic. Satan. So I want my brothers and sisters in Christ, the Catholic, to wake up. Your leadership are the Antichrist. They are siding with Muslims, saying we worship one God. Why you are here? Why you go to listen to this guy and that guy if you believe that the God of Muslims is your God? Either you believe in what I am saying and the Bible is saying, or you believe what the Pope is saying. Your Pope is their man. We spit on him. And you spit on him. Because Jesus says it clearly, there's no salvation but by me. And the Messiah and the Bible says it clearly. Who is the Antichrist? Is the one who denied the Son and the Father. Am I lying? People, am I lying? Does the Bible say clearly the one who denied the Father and the Son is an Antichrist? Isn't it this is what the Quran teach? So when we side with Muhammadan and we excuse, we say, well, the Jews did deny the Son too. The Jews will come to Jesus and they allow us to preach to them, even though they are in control of the land. And the Bible confirms every prophecy in the Bible is true. If you believe in the Bible, then you believe in the Bible. The Bible says Israel will be saved. The disciple of Christ, Paul, he came all the way to Jerusalem to save the Jews. He was not wasting his life. And remember, the disciple of Jesus, they were Jews too. And if you hate the Jews, go change your name. Don't call yourself John. Don't call yourself Paul. Don't call yourself Peter. Those are Jewish names. Don't call your daughter Mary. Every single prophet you believe in, he is a Jew. And the same as many of us as a Christians, we are Christian by name. We will go to hell. The same as they are, there's many of them, they are Jewish by name. And whoever deny the Son and the Father will go to hell. And there's many ways to deny the Son and the Father, not necessarily by saying I deny them. When you kill, when you do this, and when you do that, Jesus made it clearly. There's even people who would do miracles in the name of Christ. They say, we made wonder in your name. He said to them, depart away from me, I do not know you. You did not do it for me. You did it for yourself. Paul is a Roman name. Yeah, I mean Paul, but this is not. What about Shaul? Doesn't matter. Still, Paul is a Shaul. Somebody decided to make a story. Anyway, so we Christians, we pray for Israel and the victory of Israel. And me as a Middle Eastern, as an Arab, I love to support and fight in the side of Israel. For I understand very well this war is with who and against who. It's against us as Christians. Look what they are doing. Look, Hezbollah, those Muslims, they came to Lebanon as little minority. They took over the country. Same in Syria. They took over the country. Slowly, 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 there's no Christian no more. And they would do the same to Israel. They are so upset how the Jews are there. We took all the area. They could not take it. How in the world can such a thing happen? And Israel will bring hope for us to take our land back, to free Turkey. So it's going to be Constantinople again, not Turkey. To free our churches. The same as the Jew, they will get back their temple. Israel will give you your hope again. Turkey and the Muslims are dreaming to take Greece. They took already 90% of it. They took just 50 years ago 50% of Cyprus. Do you have short memory? Or you don't have memory? What Cyprus have to do with Israel? They took half of it. What Cyprus have to do with Turkey? They took half of it. And Europe is watching. And America is watching, and nobody dare to open his mouth. Oh, because we need Turkey. Now, look what happened. Because of this war, Cyprus is getting support from Israel. Greece is getting support from Israel. Suddenly, the front is uniting together. Christians and Jews are uniting against the devil. Putin, he support Hamas. Putin, he building weapon, nuclear weapon for Iran. He claimed to be Christian. His army from the Chechen terrorist, his favorite army. He sent them to rape women, to kidnap, to steal a neighboring Christian country. And he claimed that he's a Christian. He go to the church, he wear a cross. Europe, even the west of Europe, support Hamas. They claim they are against it, but reality is different story. American going by tens of thousands in the street supporting Hamas. Those white American who have no idea what they are talking about, they want to kill every single Jew. This is how much the Muslim, they were able to control the propaganda in the West. Because your children, they are brainwashed. There's no school, there's no teacher, there's no priest, there's no churches. You go to the church, what the priest he do? He read for you. Let us read John. Let us read John 2. He read it. Okay, thank you very much. We go next week. Let us meet. No teaching, no education, no warning, no refuting to cults, no refuting to Islam. They don't even mention the word Islam. So your children, they go in school and they teach them as they teach them. They teach them how to change their gender. They teach them that the Bible is the book of evil, the book of stupidity. And your priest, he never open his mouth. In fact, he don't dare to open his mouth, because he's afraid if he open his mouth, they will accuse him that he is bigot, and he's racist, and he's hateful. Enough is enough. And the one who don't stand for his faith, he have none. Can Iran go to Shah Pahlavi? Yes, they can. You see, if Trump stayed as a president, by now I believe Iran regime is collapsed. And Israel right now actually have a great opportunity to make that happen. If they did not listen to the stupid American Joe Biden, the evil, and they destroy all the refinery of oil of Iran, all the shipping equipment, all the ports, all, including their nuclear facility, Iran is bankrupt. It's already bankrupt. Just let Israel do their job. The problem is that those who call themselves Western civilization are uncivilized, hypocrite, coward, liars. They join the majority against the minority, and the minority is Israel. This is why the coming election is so important. We need to put Trump in the office. Then Israel can do what Israel need to do. So I hope the coming election, none of you will stay home if you are an American, and you will vote for Trump. It's very important. And now again, I know Trump is no, we are not saying he is saint, he is a priest. He is no. But we cannot compare between two. One is a sex toy in the hand of Mohammed, and the other one, they hate him, especially people like Hezbollah in Iran. When they hate you, that means you are doing good. When they start praising you, that means you are a fraud. All right? As simple as that. In fact, Saudi Arabia is wishing that Israel will attack, massive attack on Iran. That is their dream. For number one, scared people of Iran is those Muslim Sunni in Saudi Arabia and Emirat and Bahrain. Everybody know it, but they don't dare to say it. But their TV stations say it. Their support saying it. They open their space to Israel all the time. And they share a lot of information and intelligence with Israel, because their enemy is one, Iran. Anyway, I want to say thank you all for being here. I hope we have a good time, and maybe tomorrow, if God is willing, if we were able, we will be back. And don't forget to leave a comment. I know you guys don't like to leave a comment because you are cheap and your hand get tired, because your hand is fingers made of gold and silver, and they cannot move unless there's a motive, and the motive is not there because you have a motive only in the chat. For in the chat there's people are talking and you feel like you're a part of community, but in the comment, who is going to read your comment? Maybe nobody. I'm not going to type one. I'm not going to make my fingers move. That's too much work. Who's going to clean the boogers? My fingers. I cannot type and do boogers in the same time. So I understand your situation. You come here for entertainment and you laugh. But remember, one day you will be asked what you have been done. what you were doing. This guy was fighting, you were laughing. And you know which work is going to count. The Lord, He says, from their fruits, you shall know them. And if you don't even have a fruit of comment, so what do you have? I will leave that for you. Thank you all. God is good. So is Jesus. And until we see you again, this is your brother Christian Prince, who is serving you humbly for today. Take care.